Hello everyone, welcome back to another tutorial video. Dusty here. Today I'm going to be walking you through Camtasia and how to use it to create the best screen presentations possible. This is Camtasia version 2020. You may be watching this at a later date where they've updated a few things. Maybe it's called Camtasia 2021 or beyond, but this tutorial still should be valid. As you can see here, this is what comes up when you start a Camtasia recording or a project. So you'll have the option either to open a project, create a new project, or a new recording. When you click on the new recording option, you will then see a bar on one of your monitors. If you have multiple monitors, then obviously on your single monitor, if you only have one, that will have screen dimensions like this does here. It will give you the option to turn your microphone on or off and select which microphone you want. It'll then give you the option to choose what dimensions you want to record. Do you want to record in 1080p, 4K, as I'm doing here? Do you want to select a webcam? So you can see here I have my cam link set up as my webcam. And then we also have microphone options, as I mentioned before, that you'll select that you want to use. I record in an exterior audio bit of software called Adobe Audition. You can do it within Camtasia if you want. And then you're also going to see a big red record button. And when you click that red record button, it does what you think it's going to do. It'll give you a countdown from 3, 2 to 1, and then it will begin recording. Now, it will allow you to see what bit of the screen you're going to record by dashed or dotted lines that you will see around the particular area of screen that you are going to be recording. And then when you hit stop record, it will then load and save that file. And then as you can see now, I am loaded into the Camtasia video editor, which we are going to transition to now, showing you and walking you through all of the different tools within the editor. All right, now that we are in the Camtasia editor, you have recorded a bit of your screen and you have got it all into your document here or project within Camtasia. I will have timestamps in the description if you just want to get to a specific bit of the tutorial, but we are going to walk you through from start to finish now once you've recorded something. Now, if you did forget to record a portion of your screencast or video, there is always a red record button in the upper left-hand corner here. This will allow you to click on that and then open up record mode once again. And then now you can see the snake or the dotted lines here. I can go and adjust the area that I'm going to record here. And then when I'm ready, I just go ahead and hit record and I'm good to go. So this same bar comes up as you can see here where I can click record and it will add it to the document that I was working on before, which is this one here. All right, so the first thing that you're going to want to know is how do you add media or audio or images into your screencast to add to your project? So the first thing we're going to see here is a list of all of the tools available to us within Camtasia. Over here we have media, library, and so on, and we'll go through each of these individually. Under the top one here that says media, if we select this here, it will either hide or show the actual tool that we are currently selecting, okay? So in this case, it's going to be media. So you'll see the addition symbol here in the lower left-hand corner. If we just click on that, that allows us to either import media directly from our computer, PC, or import directly from Google Drive if you have that set up and you are logged in. So we're going to go ahead and go to import media. It will then open up a file explorer window here where we can then select different audio, image, or video files to then add to our project. So let's say we want to add this audio file here. We will select that, or you can hold down Control or Shift and select multiple files to add, as you can see I'm doing here, and then just either double click on that or click open here, and that will then add that file here to your media bin, which is what they call this here. You can sort the media bin by either type, duration, name, size, dimension, or the date added, and you can even view this as specific different file types here if you want to do that, or you can organize it in the way that makes it easiest for you to locate and track down the files you're going to need to drag into your timeline here to create the project and to make it the best that it possibly can be. You can also just double click anywhere here on that little area on the media bin, and that will also open up the import media option as well. So that's going to be how you add media. And I guess you could even open up a file explorer separately and then just click and hold and drag a file into the media bin if that's something that you wanted to do. So that's your media bin. That's how you get it here. Now, what else are we looking at here if you're brand new to Camtasia or a screen recorder? This area here, this is the actual video. This is what people are going to see. So you can play and pause that right here. So I can click play, I can rewind it, I can go to specific areas if I want to. So as you can see, I can play the video back, and you can see the playhead here on the timeline, which is this guy that's moving here from left to right, will begin to move, and I can pause that here. Obviously, this guy here at the very bottom, this is our timeline. This is where all the magic is going to happen. If you want to readjust the size of any of these elements, you just click and hold on the exterior border of which one you want to move, and you can click and hold and drag to make that larger or smaller depending on how you want your workspace to look. Now, over on the right-hand side, this is going to be properties. So over here on the right-hand side of your actual video and above your timeline, this is the properties of whatever element you have selected. And in order for you to know what you have selected in your timeline, if you click, it will be highlighted or surrounded by a yellow border, letting you know that is the element or product that you have selected directly within Camtasia. Under the Properties tab here over on the right, you can see if I have a video selected or a video element selected, I will have video stuff come up here. If I have an audio element selected, I then have audio properties obviously here. And then if I select properties in the gear icon here, that will then hide that and remove it and make it larger here for you to see your video. Up above the actual video here, you have your tools. You have your edit tool, which is the normal cursor. You have your hand tool, which we can use to drag different elements around if that's what we want to do. And then we have our crop tool if you want to crop out some stuff or make edits that way. This here is going to be the way that your video is showing for you in your editor here. So I have mine to fit to my specific area here, but if you want to, you can actually go and click on 50%. That'll make it smaller. You can go to 200%, make it bigger, but I normally stick with fit. And if I were you, that's exactly what I would do, because that's going to make the dimensions look right for you as you are editing your video. And you can even detach the canvas if you have multiple monitors and pull this guy over to a new monitor and have everything here on one, and then your actual video that you're editing on another monitor. Again, that's going to be stuff that if you want to do, you can do. And then lastly, we have project settings. If we select the drop-down menu here, go to project settings, you can see here all of our project settings are here. My canvas dimensions, which is going to be what you export as and what you edit in, is going to be 4K. But if you click and select the drop-down menu here, you will then see that we have options to change this to 1080p, 720 HD, whatever you want to do if you're trying to upload to a specific social network like a Facebook cover video, an Instagram story. All of those pre-made settings are here. Now, I record all of mine here in 4K, 3840 by 2160. It just looks better. I like to upload at that quality. I keep my frame rate at 30 or 60 depending on kind of the software that I'm recording, and then everything else I leave the same. Go ahead and click apply if you're good to go and you're ready to start working on your project. Next, we're going to move into library. Now, what is our library? Now, library is something that Camtasia has for you. Basically, these are pre-mades. These are pre-made icons, images that you can use that are already provided to you by Camtasia. Think of this as their suite of different media things that you can use. If you've ever heard of Envato or sites such as that provide you with stock images, lower thirds, audio tracks, things like that, this is going to be Camtasia's version of that. If we have a drop-down menu here, we can actually download more assets, buy them off the Camtasia or the TechSmith website, or we can create a new library here, create a new library, and then if you have assets that you use regularly, you can import those here into that library. So I can choose this here and choose another thing that I may use regularly, like my end screen for my YouTube videos. Click open like you would normally import media, and now you can see I have a library here that I can select from here and choose all of the assets that I use on a normal basis. That would be here under library. Next, we're going to go to favorites. Now, what are favorites? Favorites are going to be things that you star or save, so different effects, different animations that we're about to go over. If you have some that you use, like I use the dip to black at the ending of my videos, I use cross dissolves primarily for my tutorial videos, and so I could star those and put those all here, and then you can sort those by type if you want to. That'll make more sense as we go over other tools that Camtasia has to offer. Now, the next thing that we are going to go over is going to be annotations. Now, what are annotations? Annotations are the ability to add cool little animations or cool little call to actions that you can add to your video. For example, we can click and hold any of these animations or annotations here and drag them onto the screen to show up within our screencast. So wherever you are on your timeline, so wherever the playhead is on your timeline, that's going to be where that annotation becomes visible. So if I play this back now, as you can see, as that comes up in the timeline, this annotation then becomes visible. We can do normal things as you would any element on the screen here. We can click and hold and make this bigger or smaller. We can click and drag this guy here to make the little line a different length or a different area on the cloud. And then we can just put this anywhere to be, call attention to something within the screencast. And then over here in our properties tab, we can then change even more stuff. We can go to the fill color. We can change that to be a nice dark green if that's something that we want to do. We can change the opacity here. We can even change the outline, the thickness, if that's something that you want to do. So once you add an annotation, you can then edit how that annotation looks over on the right-hand side. And some properties even have different tabs, like this one here has the way it looks, and then it has the call out or text properties. So we can then choose the font that we want to use if we want to change the font for that annotation. And then right here, we can even scale it within properties as if we were over here moving it around as well. Once you have that where you want it on your timeline, play it back, make sure it looks the way you want, and then go and double click here into the text, and then you can add your text or call out text on top of that annotation to make it look and feel the way that you want it to look within your actual presentation. So that's going to be call outs. Or annotations. And by the way, there are a number of these. There are arrows and lines, there are shapes that you can add, there are blur and highlights. This is one I want to cover in particular. Here, we can actually blur specific areas of a screen. We can highlight specific areas of a screen. So again, this works just like the annotations did previously. If you want to blur an area of a screen, you just click and hold the blur section here, put it down on your timeline. And as you can see now, we have a little block that we can drag around to blur stuff. So you see it's visible now, but if we drag the blur over this, you can see it's then blurred out. And then we can click and hold to minimize or maximize the size of this if we only want that little area to be blurred out there. And as you can see, the properties work the same over here. If we have our blur selected, the intensity of that blur can be decreased or increased if you only want a small amount of area to be blurred. And then here we can scale it, change the opacity, rotate, change all of the location area here in the properties. Same thing goes for highlight. So if we delete the blur option there, we can highlight an area of the screen by dragging that into our timeline there, making that a little bigger. And then as you can see, we will then just highlight a specific area of the screen, and then it will then put the other area of the screen that's not highlighted a lot lighter and more less opacity, and it will decrease the kind of visibility of the background here. So you have your foreground and your background, and then we can even change and scale that over here under properties. We can make that more intense to even reduce, take everything out if we want to. I normally keep mine around 50% just so the highlight does stand out. So I'm going to go ahead now and delete the highlight, so showing you exactly how to do that. We can also pixelate and highlight like a highlighter marker if that's something that we want to do here. Under sketch motion, these are probably my favorite. I love using the box here. So if we select the box, drag that onto our screen, and then play it back here, you can see an animated box can kind of highlight and present something that you want to draw the attention to on your screencast here. All right, so that's everything you need to know about annotations. You can also do keystroke callouts. So if you're typing on your keyboard, you can click and hold here and put that on the timeline. And whenever you type something on your keyboard, it will then show the viewer what you are typing. Another great feature within Camtasia. Next, we're going to move over to transitions. This one should be fairly simple. When a video is going from one to another clip, so clip to clip, you can either have it begin or end with a transition, or you can have it go from one clip to another with a transition. In order to zoom in to your timeline to see things better, you have the nice little tool here, the magnifying glass. We can click and hold, drag that to the right if that's something that we want to do. So as we can see here, we will drag that to the left here, and then we will put our playhead where we want it, and then we will zoom in here. And so now if we play this back, you will now see that the dissolve animation comes into play here. If there wasn't a blur, that would work just fine. So if we play that back, it would then dissolve into that there, and we can click and hold, and we can even increase and decrease, as you can see here, we can increase or decrease the amount of time that that transition takes place on the screen, okay? So transitions work again for beginning and ending of clips. I will go to the end of my video here and show you right here. I have one that is a fade to black, and if we go here and play this back, you can see it's going to fade all the way to black. Transitions work just like anything else within Camtasia. If you select them, you will have properties here that you can look at. And then again, you can adjust the length or duration of that by clicking and holding and dragging that. And you can even see the duration of that as you are dragging it on the timeline. Beautiful, right? And then all of the transitions over here, I'd play around with them and see which one works for you. I normally go with the mantra of less is usually more. Next, we have behaviors. Now, behaviors are going to be things that, as you see here, like animated text. So if we go here on our video, select somewhere on our timeline, and then go to drifting here, and then select drifting, if we put that on top of a video, and then we go ahead and play it back, you can see that the video just begins to bounce and drift up and down, right? Like there's no need to do that on this element here. But if we had let's say we had an annotation, it was one of these shapes, and we put that here, okay? We had a star shape, and we made it a little bigger here on the screen. We could go back to our behaviors here, and we can go and tell it to jump and fall. So if we play this back now, the star will jump in, and then at the end of it, it will then fall off the screen. So maybe there's elements on your screen that you want to do different actions or animations like that. It'll make you look like you know what you're doing a little better than you probably do. And with anything in Camtasia, again, if you select it, it will have properties on the right-hand side that you can adjust. You can even adjust the percentage of bounce, how quickly it does it. There's so many details you can do. You can really fine-tune the different behaviors within Camtasia. Next, we are moving to animations. Now, this is the one you're probably going to use most if you're doing software screen recordings or just normal screen recordings. You can see if I select anywhere on my timeline here, I will drag the playhead anywhere I want and select that video. I will actually have the ability to either zoom and pan, or I have different animations. So the one I normally use is just the zoom and pan. If you select and put your playhead anywhere on the timeline, you can click and hold the zoom scaler here and drag it to the right to zoom in and drag it to the left to zoom out. If you notice now on my timeline, we have a nice little arrow and a red dot there showing me that there is an animation that will be moving the screen, okay? So now if I have it set, I let it go here, or if you have a specific percentage you want to go to, like 150, you can select, double click there and type in 150 by just going there, type in 150, and then it'll zoom in 150%. If we go back a little bit here from beyond that animation, click the play button or the space bar, boom, it zooms in, just like I tell it to do there. If we select it, we can select it like we would anything within Camtasia, click and hold this. This will change the duration, so it'll take it a longer time to actually zoom in. So now if we play it back, it'll have a nice slow pan into a specific area. If we take this and we click it here, you can see we also have properties as with anything within Camtasia. Now I'm going to zoom out. The easiest thing to do is if we click this here and go to actual size, that'll take us right back to 100%. All right. So we'll then zoom in like we did there, and then it will zoom back out, boom, just like it would if we were adding any type of animation. You can click and hold up here on the zoom and pan to kind of show different areas. But what I like to do, let me show you exactly what I like to do. I'm going to delete these animations by clicking on them, and they'll be highlighted. I can delete them here. And then what I like to do is I like to zoom in. So I add my animation, zoom in, don't move the playhead here, and then click and hold anywhere on the screen. So if I want to zoom in here to the upper left-hand corner, do that, zoom in a little more, put it exactly where I want it. Now when I go back, it'll zoom in exactly where I want it to zoom in. So click it, delete it, backspace button, that removes the animation. You're going to be using this a ton, okay? So go ahead and learn how to use it. Next is going to be animations. These are fairly self-explanatory. You can tilt something to the right, you can tilt it to the left. So if I want this video here to be tilted to the right and something else to be shown in the background, which you can do, by the way, I can click and hold and put this guy up here and then drag the screen above it here. Now, as you can see, this little guy, you can put him here and have something as the background in the foreground. And as you can see, this little guy here will show up kind of tilted off to the right. Again, those are professional things. As you learn Camtasia, you can play around with these animations. None of these are necessary to make a very good tutorial video or screencast, right? Next, we're going to go to cursor effects. If you want every time your cursor to be shown, it to be highlighted, you just click and hold that highlight option, put it on the screen recording that you want that to be the case. Now when it plays back, look at this. Everywhere your cursor goes, on the screencast, it will be highlighted. Same thing goes for magnify, spotlight, or cursor smoothing. I don't really use the smoothing one. I found that's not really something I'd want to use. But if I go here and undo that there, I can add a magnifying glass to it. And now anywhere my cursor goes, you'll just see a little magnifying glass. Same thing goes here. Anything that you add in Camtasia can be changed in properties. We can change the magnifying glass size, make it really big. We can change the zoom to make it zoom even larger. And then again, if I want to remove that, I would just select that and hit backspace or go to a Control Z, and that will then remove the magnifying glass from that specific area on your tutorial. Next, we have voice narration, fairly self-explanatory here. If you want to add a voice or a background voice, you can hit Start Voice Recording here, and this will add a VO that you can add to specific areas. So it'll allow you to talk along with your videos. So what we could do is we could play it back, go to Start Voice Recording here, and it will then begin to play on the playhead as it normally would. And as you can see, I can either cancel or stop. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording now, and that will then allow me to save that as an audio file to be added. As you can see, I can now add that and move that element around like I would anything within Camtasia. Make sure that you have your microphone selected by selecting the drop-down menu and then going here and selecting the actual microphone that you're using. So if you have a Bluetooth microphone selected, it may not be selected here in Camtasia. You just need to make sure that is the case. Next, we have audio effects. Obviously, these are fairly self-explanatory. We have fade ins and fade outs. So at the end of my video, if I want this audio here to fade out, I will click and hold the fade out option here, drag that onto my audio clip here, and look, it creates a nice, beautiful little fade out of my audio here, this little audio clip here. Another thing that you can do, though, if you don't want to do it that way, is do what I normally do because I don't take the time to add the fade out, is I can click anywhere on this audio clip here, and it will add a what I call a keyframe, and I can click and drag that all the way down to add my own little fade out, if that's something that you want to do. And you can add these little keyframes anywhere within an audio, right? Same thing goes for audio on the timeline. You can click and hold and decrease or increase the volume just by doing this and dragging this little line. And it shows you the waveform directly here in the timeline. Those are audio effects. Visual effects here, you have play around with these. I'm not going to go over these much. You have, where you can increase, decrease the speed. You can add a border to a window. You can add a drop shadow. You can even, if you have a green screen, remove color here. You can do interactive stuff within visual effects. These are all later, more advanced techniques that if you want to get into, you can, and that kind of goes into interactivity. You can add a quiz to your video if you want to do that. So we can add quiz to timeline. So if we do this here, it will then add a quiz to my timeline that'll pop up and ask people questions. That's really cool. But again, these are very niche case scenarios, and I could do videos on them as well. And then captions, I do my captions after I export from Camtasia. I recommend going to a service like rev.com, get your captions there for literally dirt cheap. If you want to add captions, you can start at the very beginning of your video, go to add captions. It will begin to play it back. And as I'm speaking, as I play it back, I can type my captions here directly within Camtasia. Okay, that goes for all of that information there. All right, so you're done. You finished your screencast. You're ready to export. Make sure you're saving all throughout this process. I should have said that earlier. Control S, make sure you save. Control S, that'll save it just like that. Or go to File, Save, or Save As if you haven't saved as of yet. And then when you're ready to go, you want to export. Go to Export, Local File. This will export it as a video. This is where you need to pay attention. Under Production Wizard here, we have the custom production settings, my dimensions. If you've set them up into project settings like I did and showed you earlier, you shouldn't have to change anything here. Go to Next, make sure it's an MP4, if that's the format you want. Make sure you click on the size tab here to let you know the video size and keep aspect ratio is exactly what you want. If you want 1080p, it needs to be 1920 by 1080. Once you're here, give the production a name and where you want to save it, click Finish, and it will begin to export and render the video as you see it's doing right here. That's it. That's everything that should get you up and running within Camtasia. I really hope this was helpful. This has been a lot of fun to record. The guys over at TechSmith do a great job with this software. If this video helped you out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.